don't have to be a pure technology company to come up with a disruptive innovation, to be a game changer. There are plenty of other industries that are just begging to have some outsider take the market by storm, change the way business is done in that market. That's why tonight we're going off the tape. That's right, off the tape, not with a publicly traded stock, but with a privately held one, Warby Parker. And that's it's a way that is changing how people buy glasses. Right now, if you want to pick up a pair of high-quality prescription glasses, they'll set you back anywhere from $300 to $700 because a handful of large companies control pretty much the whole market and keep prices artificially high. Enter Warby Parker, where you can get stylish, high-quality glasses for as low as $95, either from their website, which was the original model here, or from one of the company's newer showrooms. These guys have done a terrific job of using social media to help figure out what the consumer actually wants. And in their latest round of financing, they've raised some money from Mickey Drexler of J. Crew fame. So I definitely think you should keep an eye on this guy. I got to tell you, when I heard that Mickey Drexler was in, and I looked at the stuff, I said, we got to have him on, okay? Now, but it is still privately held. Let's take a closer look with Neil Blumenthal. He's the co-CEO and co-founder of Warby Parker, to hear more about how his company is disrupting the traditional market for glasses. Mr. Blumenthal, welcome to Mad Money.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, thank you. Now, I got to tell you, Neil, I was out west, and people were disrupting Oracle, and they're disrupting SAP, and disrupting Microsoft. Who are these nameless people that you're disrupting, these companies that are obviously charging too much versus what you're providing?
Yeah, I think it's more what rather than who, but it's this idea that shopping should be fun and you should be able to walk out without feeling like you got ripped off. So $95 instead of $400.
But why? I mean, how can those other guys, the first thing I saw, I said, how can those other guys get away with it? Is the answer that it's just always been that way and that's maybe enough?
I think so, and I think a lot of the big guys sort of hide behind fashion brands that they license.
Right.
So they're licensing these brands and paying a fee between 10 and 15%. So since we do it under the Warby Parker brand, we're able to give that directly back to our customers.
Now, when I talk to a lot of technology companies, what they're always afraid with, Dropbox is worried about box. I mean, right. Does Warby Parker have to run scared because someone else can invent these and then sell them for $85?
I think that's why we focus so much on building a lifestyle brand, because a brand is sort of really defensible. We'll never be the cheapest out there, but we'll always provide sort of the most value. So we're doing Italian acetate, 5-barrel screws with Teflon coatings, and it's just much greater quality than you'd expect for this price. But it's also just about what Warby Parker represents, because ultimately these are accessories that you wear,
right.
So they have to be part of your identity.
Okay, so there's Fossil, and we like that name. There's Toomey, which is a made-up name. And then there's Warby Parker, which is a bit of a made-up name.
Yeah, so Warby Parker comes from 2 early Jack Kerouac characters. Okay. Now, naming a company has to be the hardest thing on the planet. So my co-founders and I went through 2,000 different names, and we kept coming back to literary heroes. And my co-founder...
But what was rejected?
There was
Moby Dick?
Yeah. I think there was like Moxley, and I mean, it's just like, there were some bad ones. But Dave had wandered into a New York Public Library exhibit on Kerouac, and they had these 2 characters that had never been published before, Warby Pepper and Zag Parker. So we combined the 2. We were actually at Wharton at the time. We were getting our MBAs, and the first thing that we did was we just asked 100 of our friends, and they loved it. But of course, being finance people, there were a couple of people that said Warburg Pincus. But
right.
We figured the vast majority of the population wouldn't know that.
Well, they're wearing Tim Geithner glasses there. Right. Okay, so how does Mickey Drexler find out about Warby Parker?
So we were actually introduced to him by somebody that works for him. And then we just started having lunch. We sort of hit it off. I think he was excited what we were doing, especially combining sort of selling online with eventually sort of bricks and mortar, and thought that we were being pretty innovative, and he loved the brand.
Now, have bankers contacted you? Because I'm sure the success of Fossil, the success of Toomey, the success of Michael Kors, I'm sure someone wants to right now back Warby Parker, right?
Yeah, we have had some conversations with banks, but all preliminary. I think it's just relationship building for us and for them. What's great is that they're great at giving us a bunch of research on the industry. That's always helpful.
Well, no, look, I mean, they're doing it their way, and you're doing it your way, and congratulating you. You obviously have a great, great concept. I've paid too much myself for that. That's Neil Blumenthal. He's co-founder and co-CEO of Warby Parker. Check the website. Hey, buy the glasses. Can I take back the ones I bought for $400? Stay with Cramer.